2017年嘅第8條題目呢，就係做實驗啦。今次我哋做嘅實驗呢，就想研究一下一啲泥土嘅細菌啦，對於植物 X 嘅成長究竟有啲咩影響嘅。咁而家啦，我哋呢就做實驗之前呢，就將呢3款嘅細菌 A、B、C 啦，就分別呢就擺喺呢個培養液嗰處養下先。養咗咁上緊啦，就將呢啲培養液呢，有細菌嘅培養液呢，就倒落去唔同嘅泥土嗰處。所以啦，我哋有3兜嘅泥土，分別呢就加咗有細菌 A 嘅培養液啦，有細菌 B 同埋有細菌 C 嘅培養液，咁啊3兜嘅。咁呢3兜呢，就係我哋嘅實驗裝置 experimental setup， 而仲有另一個 setup 呢，就係對照裝置，就係嗰棵植物呢，淨係加翻培養液嘅啫，而呢個培養液係冇細菌嘅。嗱，呢個呢係個實驗嘅做法。然後啦，過咗呢60日呢，我哋又度下佢哋嘅高度啦。所以呢，我哋有2個數據，就係第一日佢哋嘅平均高度，同埋60日之後佢哋嘅平均高度。咁啊，大家呢其實都升咗嘅，不過個升幅呢就有大有細咁解啫。大家一開始都係20，不過升完之後啦，有啲30啦，有啲22啦，有啲45啦，有啲30啦。睇翻 Part A 呢，佢就問啦，根據翻實驗嘅結果啦，就要我哋講翻呢3款細菌對於個植物 X 嘅成長究竟有咩嘅影響啦。咁今次咧，我又想同大家講一講計數啦，因為咧喺 Bio 其實我哋都需要 equip 到呢個全視技能，就係 calculation。而今次呢個計數咧有2個嘅 level 嘅。第一個 level 好簡單嘅啫，就係純粹將2個數字相減咯，你會知道佢係高咗幾多啦，係咪？平均高度嘅改變，相減就已經係噶啦。咁啊 level 2咧就係計下百分比嘅變化啦。有陣時題目佢唔一定係齋問你個相減嘅，係會叫你用百分比去表示都得嘅。咁百分比嗰條式就係呢個咯，新減舊除舊乘翻100就係嗰個百分比啦。咁啊有陣時啲 equation 有個100% 啦，不過一樣意思嚟嘅啫。Level 1嘅平均高度改變咪就係新減舊咯，30減20。22減20，如此類推。咁所以啦，先用翻對照實驗咧做個理解先。對照實驗咧 ，Level 1咧就係30減20，就係升高咗10 cm 啦。咁啊百分比咧就係升高咗50% 嘅。咁我哋咧就將對照裝置咧就視為一個正常嘅成長。跟住睇下 A、B、C 咯。A 咧就係升高咗2 cm 嘅啫。咁佢百分比咧只係升高咗10%。咁相比起當初喺對照裝置所見到嘅50%，其實佢係慢咗噶嘛。從而咧，我哋就可以歸納到細菌 A 咧對於個植物 X 嘅影響咧，應該係一個抑制嘅作用，因為生得慢咗。嗱，佢唔係唔生，佢生得慢咗啫嘛。正常係可以生到30，佢生到22，係咪？跟住去到 B 啦，咁其實咧佢個百分比嘅增加咧就係125%，比起50% 為之快嘅。咁所以係一個促進成長嘅作用啦。跟住去到 C 咧，其實就你發現啦，啱啱就同我哋嘅對照裝置係一樣嘅，所以啦係冇一個明顯嘅影響。佢係咪抑制？又唔係啊。係咪促進？都唔係啊。因為同對照裝置根本一模一樣，加咗細菌 C 同根本冇細菌咧個反應係一樣嘅。嗱，咁今次題目咧係冇問我哋計數嘅，但係唔排除下次個題型嘅變奏咧就要我哋計數，所以今次我想提翻大家 Bio 係要識計數嘅。其中一款咧，我哋要計數嘅咧就係生長素嘅實驗啦。呢幅圖咧，我相信大家咧都唔難理解噶啦。0咧其實就係正常成長，0以上咧就係促進咗個成長，0以下咧就係抑制咗個成長。嗱，呢一幅圖咧係講緊啦，改變咗嗰個生長素嘅濃度啦。咁對應於一個正常生長素嘅濃度底下，佢嗰個成長係咪一樣咧？所以佢係雙重比較嚟嘅。所以0嘅話咧係同正常情況冇唔同，咪即係正常成長咯，係咪？咁啊，比起正常情況為之正面嘅，咁咪即係促進咗咯。跟住比起正常成長為之負面嘅，咪即係抑制咗咯。好，跟住去到 Part B 啦，佢就講翻咧細菌 A 同埋 B 咧都係能夠住喺個植物嘅根部，從而就喺個根部咧就獲得養分咧，就俾佢哋自己成長嘅。咁題目就問翻啦，細菌 A 同埋 B 同個植物 X 咧，究竟有啲咩嘅生態關係啦？咁呢個題目唔使審噶啦，就係問翻啦，生物之間嘅生態關係，就睇下佢哋點樣互動咯。邊個得益啊？ 邊個受害啊，或者係互不拖欠啊。咁所以啦，我哋咧就有嗰啲捕獵啊、競爭啊、遍理共生啊、互利共生啊、寄生嘅情況啦。咁成條題目啦，點樣去諗翻呢？咁啊題目咧俾咗兩個提示我哋嘅。第一就係 A 同埋 B 咧都係住喺棵植物嘅根部，同埋啦佢哋都係能夠喺個植物嘅根部咧去獲得養分，從而佢哋咧係成長嘅。所以啦，細菌 A 同埋 B 咧都係能夠喺個植物身上獲得好處，佢哋一定係正好嚟噶啦。咁對於棵植物啦，咁又如何呢？根據翻 Part A 咧，我哋會知道嘅細菌 A 咧就係抑制到棵植物嘅成長，亦即係話棵植物係受害嘅，佢自己得益，而棵植物係受害，咁正正就係一個寄生嘅情況啦。細菌 A 咧就係個寄生物啦，而個植物咧就係個宿主啦。咁你會諗啦，正負兩 Sir 點解唔係捕獵呢？正正就係因為呢個提示咯。咁啊，因為細菌 A 係住喺棵植物嘅入面咯，而佢係喺個根部獲得養分。如果細菌 A 真係懟冧咗棵植物係捕獵嘅情況嘅話啦，其實佢自己都會死埋啦，仲獲得咩養分啫？係咪？跟住去到細菌 B 啦，根據 Part A 嘅答案呢，佢係能夠促進嗰棵植物嘅成長嘅，亦即係話植物呢，從中亦都係得益嘅，咁即係大家都係正好啦，咁所以咧佢哋就係互利共生啦。因為到 Part C 啦，咁我做咗一系列嘅實驗啦，我哋咧就想去研究一下啦，溫度咧對於細菌 A 同埋 B 咧嘅成長又有啲咩嘅影響啦。咁我哋就呢一幅圖啦，咁啱啱都界咗啲線嘅，陣間先講咩意思啦。咁啊 Part C1 咧就去講翻啦，細菌 A 同埋 B 佢哋嘅最適合佢哋成長嘅溫度啊，究竟係幾多？咁去到 Part 2咧就講翻啦，喺香港嘅正常泥土嘅溫度咧就係30度，係咪呢個夏天嘅溫度啦？咁啊就由於啦全球暖化嘅關係啦，就導致到啦香港嘅泥土溫度咧就上升咗大約2度啦。咁啊根據翻咧嗰個圖表嘅數據啦，根據翻 Part 1啦，我哋預測一下喺一個全球暖化嘅夏天底下，喺個泥土入面嘅細菌 A 同埋 B，佢哋嘅族群嘅大細啊，究竟有啲咩嘅轉變呢？咁呢個題目咧，其實就考幾樣嘢嘅。先考我哋嘅技能咧，就係去睇下個圖表啦，分析下個數據啦，同埋作出咧一個預測嘅。有咩概念係考緊我哋嘅咧？就係最適當嘅溫度啦。咁啊睇翻呢幅圖咧，唔難理解啦。喺翻30度嘅時候咧，喺呢個細菌 A 咧，佢成長得咧係最多嘅、最快嘅。而喺呢個大約35度啦，就對於 B 咧，佢嗰個成長咧個速度亦都係最快啦。咁所以答案咧分別就係30度同埋35度啦。而考評局咧俾我哋嘅答案咧都係正負1度嘅。咁你界翻呢兩條線兜嘢動落去咧，你都會發現啦，其實都冇乜得走雞噶啦。跟住去到 Part 2啦，究竟有啲咩要思考呢？咁第一啦，我哋就要講下啦，基於全球暖化喺我哋香港嘅泥土溫度咧就變咗32度。咁我哋考究翻第一部分嘅數據啦。咁啊，究竟啦呢個提升咗嘅溫度對於細菌 A 同埋 B 佢哋嘅成長有啲咩嘅影響呢？咁你見到啦，呢兩個交叉正正就話俾我哋聽啦，將個溫度而家去到32度嘅呢個情景底下，對於細菌 A 咧，其實佢個成長速度咧係下降咗啊，因為已經超越咗佢嘅最適溫度，過咗龍啦就會開始跌啦。所以啦，細菌 A 我哋會發現啦，泥土溫度高於佢嘅最適當溫度啦。咁細菌 B 啦，佢個成長速度增加啦，原因何在呢？咁啊，因為啦喺個泥土嘅溫度係更加趨向於佢嘅最適當溫度，由30上到32，係更加接近35啦已經。咁所以啦，佢嘅成長速度係快咗嘅。然後啦，我哋就要基於細菌 A 同 B 佢哋嘅成長速度嘅變化啦，去預測一下佢哋嘅族群大細嘅改變啦。咁所以我哋就會發現啦，細菌 A 咧係生得慢咗啊嘛，所以佢族群大細咧就會下降咗啦，就細咗啦。而細菌 B 咧佢成長得快咗啊嘛，咁所以咧佢族群大細咧就會係增加咗啦。好，跟住啦去到 Part D 啦，咁我就講咧 Plant X 咧其實就係一個外來嘅物種嚟嘅。咁啊，相比起喺香港嘅本地植物嘅物種咧，係更加具有競爭力嘅。咁而家啦，睇翻啦，我哋喺呢個 Part A 嘅答案啦，同埋 C2 Part 嘅答案啦，我哋去講一講喺一個全球暖化嘅情況底下，對於本土嘅植物群落， 究竟啦有啲咩嘅影響呢？咁啊，從而去解釋我哋嘅答案啦。咁成條題目呢，其實就係考緊我哋一個好關鍵嘅技巧啦，就係綜合數據，從而作出預測啦。咁喺過往嘅 Part A 同埋 C2 Part 啦，究竟我哋有啲咩嘅數據係獲得咗，同埋有啲咩嘅預測呢？第一啦，就係細菌 A 呢係會抑制咗植物嘅成長啦，細菌 B 呢就會促進咗植物嘅成長啦。然後細菌 A 呢係唔能夠適應到同埋生存到喺香港嘅泥土嘅，因為溫度呢係高過佢嘅最適當溫度。而細菌 B 呢，即使喺一個全球暖化底下，溫度去到32度啦，相比起佢嘅最適當溫度35度嚟計呢，其實係更加好嘅。咁所以啦，其實佢係能夠適應到同埋生存到喺香港嘅泥土嘅。咁根據呢個邏輯底下呢，我哋就要睇一個思考嘅應價啦，運用翻我哋當初嘅發現去套用喺香港嘅生境入面啦。尤其是佢係喺一個全球暖化嘅狀態底下。咁第一個發現呢，就係細菌 A 喺香港嘅泥土呢，其實係少咗嘅。咁但係少咗細菌 A 有咩咁特別呢？細菌 A 係會抑制植物 X 嘅成長，但係而家少咗細菌 A，即係話細菌 A 對於抑制植物 X 嘅成長呢，其實係弱咗嘅。第二個發現呢，就係細菌 B 呢係能夠喺香港嘅泥土去適應同埋生存啊嘛，而細菌 B 係能夠促進到植物 X 嘅成長。咁所以啦，我哋就會知道咧，喺個香港嘅泥土入面，喺全球暖化底下係會多咗細菌 B， 而多咗個細菌 B 咧係會有一個大一啲嘅促進嘅效果，去令到植物 X 咧係生得快咗嘅。咁當我哋啦綜合呢兩個概念啦，少啲嘅抑制，強啲嘅促進，亦即係講緊植物 X 咧係真係生得多一啲、快一啲。咁根據翻呢條題目嘅最終極嘅資訊，就係植物 X 相比起本地嘅植物呢，其實係更加有競爭力嘅。就即係話啦，爭下陽光啊，爭下水啊，咁其實植物 X 呢都係優勝一啲嘅。咁所以整套概念究竟係點樣呢？喺全球暖化嘅情況底下，對於本土嘅植物群落究竟有咩嘅變化呢？咁我哋就會發現啦，本土嘅植物群落就應該係會變少咗啦，少咗嘅數量啦，或者佢嘅多樣性都會減少啦。咁點解啊？咁啊因為多咗 Plant X 嘅出現啦。又嚟到一點出發啦。咁今次嘅題目呢，就係由泥土細菌呢做個切入點嘅。咁啊1、2、3、4，好，又嚟到一點出發啦。今次呢，就講泥土細菌嘅。咁牽涉兩樣嘢啦，生境啦，同埋呢個科學嘅探究啦。因為我哋都做咗唔少嘅實驗啦，係咪？咁啊當中啦。1、2、3、4，咁當中啦有嗰啲生境啊、生態系統嘅概念呢。咁啊細菌自己啦就係生物因素啦，而溫度呢就係非生物嘅因素啦。而當中啦有啲牽涉咗一個最適當嘅溫度去俾棵植物嘅成長啦。而內在嘅概念呢，其實就係對於酶嘅活性嘅影響啦。跟住啦，去到科學探究咧，第一部分就係計算啦。嗱，今次咧佢就真係冇問你計數嘅。點解我要提你哋咧？係因為 BIO 都有少少數要計嘅。咁當初啦，終極提示咧都提過大家啦。計數咧有唔少嘅，咁遲下咧補翻個Excel 啊或者 Word 啦，俾大家去知道下每個課題咧就係有啲咩嘅計數嘅東西咧，大家要學識先。咁啊最基本啊，睇翻呢段片咧，嗰度都有講過下呢啲特別嘅運算嘅。望呢一 part 咧都幫下大家先。第二啦就係圖表嘅閱讀啦，無論係 bar chart 啦定還是呢啲 curve 啦，我哋都要咧係學識嘅，尤其是係分得清 x、y axis 啊。呢個以前都教過大家噶啦，咁啊透過我哋將個生境啊、科學探究啊做個結合呢，就能夠應用落去生態系統嘅概念啦，就係研究啲生物之間嘅生態關係咯。例如啦，我哋研究下啲細菌對於棵植物嘅成長率呢有啲咩嘅影響，咁呢個呢，就係一個共生關係，究竟佢哋係偏離共生啊、互利共生啊定係寄生呢？咁呢 part 呢，我哋要學識嘅。而當中仲有一個嘅概念係要講嘅，就係生態位啦。唔單止淨係講啲細菌住喺邊度，亦都講呢啲細菌喺呢個環境嘅角色係啲乜嘢。咁啊，對於生態位，如果你想溫下書嘅，就睇翻呢段 MC 片啦噃。2017 Question 8 is about the scientific investigation. We are going to investigate the effect of the soil bacteria on the growth of plant X. And there are 3 types of soil bacteria, A, B, C. They will grow separately in one type of culture solution. And after this, we add the bacteria culture, that means the culture solution with the particular bacteria. We add the bacteria culture to the soil of separate pots of plant X. So there will be 3 experimental setup. 1, 2, 3. The plant X with the bacteria A culture solution, and the plant X with the plant B culture solution, and the plant X with the bacteria C culture solution. And apart from the experimental setup, we have the control setup. We only add the culture solution to the plant X. And in this culture solution, there is no bacteria. And for day 1, we measure the average height. And on day 60, we also measure the average height, day 1 and day 60. So let's take a look at part A. With reference to the above result, states the effect of each bacteria on the growth of plant X. So in this question, I would like to tell you about the calculation as the cyanotype skills. And there are 2 levels of calculation in this question. Level 1, the change of the average height, that means the final height minus the initial height. And for level 2, we need to calculate the percentage change of the average height. So you can refer to this formula, new value minus the original value divided the original value and times 100 or 100%. So you will get the percentage change. So the idea is that for the culture solution as the control setup, we measure that the average height of the plant X on day 60 is 30. And on day 1, it is 20. So we can see that the level 1, the average height change is 10 cm increase, right? And for level 2, we calculate the percentage change of the average height. So we get it 50%. So it's regarded as normal growth. We take a look at the experimental setup for bacteria A. So it increased for 2 cm only. There is still growth. Increase of the average height of plant X is smaller. And for the level 2, there is only 10% growth. You can see that the plant X with the bacteria A, it grows slower than the normal growth. You can say that the bacterium A, it will inhibit the growth of plant X. And for the bacteria B, we can see that the percentage change is 125% increase. And in the level 1, there are 25 cm increase. So we can see that it grows faster than normal growth. So we can say that the bacterium B, it will promote the growth of the plant X. And for the bacterium C, after the calculation, we find that it's the same growth rate as the control setup, 20 to 30, and then only 10 cm increases. So we can see that no obvious effect on the growth of the plant X. No inhibition and no promotion at all. So for this question, it doesn't ask you to do the calculation. Somehow you just draw the line and then you can see that which one is growth faster than the normal growth compared with the control setup, right? However, for the question variation, it may ask you to do some calculation. Therefore, I would like to introduce the formula to you first. And in DSE, there are some other calculation questions. For example, for the auxin experiment. It is very typical graph you need to understand for the tropism topic. So for the 0, what does it mean? It means normal growth. Because we are comparing the plant with a certain concentration of auxin, what is the growth of this plant, and compare it with the normal growth, with the normal auxin concentration. So we can see that if the difference is 0, then compared with the normal growth, there is no change at all. It means that at that particular auxin concentration, it will result the normal growth. But what about above the 0, the positive? It means that the stimulation, it will promote the plant growth. Below the 0, which is the negative value, so it will show the inhibition of the growth. Part B. It's known that both bacteria A and B are able to colonize the root of plant X and obtain the nutrients from the root for growth. The question asks us to suggest the possible ecological relationship between each type of the bacterium and the plant X. This question, it needs us to recall the ecological relationship among the organism based on the interaction among them. So we can see the different types of relationship. So in each type of thing, so what the exam says, so the organism may get benefit, they may be harmed, and they may be not affected by each other. So therefore, we have the predation, competition, commensalism, mutualism, and parasitism. So in order to deal with this question, we need the certain thinking logic. In this question, it's given that both of the bacteria A and B, they live in the root of the plant X, and both of them obtain the nutrients from the root for their growth. So we can say that both bacteria A and B, they gain benefit from the plant. So that's why they must have a positive sign. So what about the plant X? So from part A, we can see that bacterium A will inhibit the growth of plant X. So we can say that the plant X is being harmed. So we can say that it is the parasitism. Bacterium A is the parasite and the plant X is the host. So you may ask that why it is not the predation. So the key idea is that both the bacteria A and B, they live in the root of the plants. So in case that if the bacteria A, they really kill the plants, just like the case of the predation, they kill the plants, so they cannot obtain the nutrients at all. So they live in the root of the plant X for what? It will become meaningless, right? And then let's take a look at the bacterium B. From part A, we know that bacterium B promotes the growth of the plant X. So we can see that the plant X also gain benefit from the bacterium B. Therefore, their relationship must be the mutualism. Both of them get benefit from each other. So for question C, in a subsequent experiment, the effect of temperature on the growth of the bacteria A and B was tested, and the results are shown in the following graph. You can see the temperature and the growth rate. So for part 1, indicate the optimum temperature for the growth of the bacteria A and B respectively. And for part 2, normal soil temperature in Hong Kong is around 30 degrees Celsius in summer, and global warming has led to an increase in the soil temperature within 2 degrees Celsius. So with reference to the above graph, predict the changes in the population sizes of the bacteria A and B in soil in summer. So in this question, the critical skills we are checking is the data analysis, the graph reading, and the prediction. And for the concept checking, we need to recall the concept of the optimum temperature. It means that at a particular temperature, the growth rate of the bacteria is the highest. And we can find the optimum temperature, which are 30 degrees Celsius for bacteria A and 35 degrees Celsius for bacteria B. And for the suggested answer, there is a range for us. 1 degree Celsius higher and 1 degree Celsius lower is also acceptable. So for part 2, we need to think about the population size of the bacteria A and B. So we need to go through the thinking logic. Due to the global warming, the soil temperature in Hong Kong will be around 32 degrees Celsius. So what is the effect of the increased soil temperature on the growth of the bacteria A and B? So we can see that for bacteria A, the growth rate will decrease. And for bacterium B, the growth rate will increase. The idea is that because the soil temperature is higher than the optimum temperature for the growth of the bacterium A. So it's just like the concept of the M-site activity. Once the temperature is higher than the optimum temperature, somehow it will make the M-site activities drops. Now the soil temperature 32 degrees Celsius is higher than the 30 degrees Celsius. Therefore, bacterium A, the growth rate will decrease. The soil temperature is closer to the optimum temperature for the growth of the bacterium B. Therefore, the growth rate will increase. And then we need to predict the changes in the population size based on the growth rate changes. Therefore, we can draw the conclusion that the population size of the bacterium A will decrease and the population size of the bacterium B will increase. And for part D, plant X is a foreign species that is more competitive than the native plant species in Hong Kong. With reference to your answers in Part A and Part C2, suggest a possible impact of global warming on the native plant community. and explain your answer. So in this question is checking the critical skills for the integration of the data and making prediction. So any data collected and any prediction we have done. First of all, we have the effect of the bacteria on the growth of the plant X. Bacterium A inhibits the growth of the plant X. The bacterium B promotes the growth of the plant X. The bacterium A cannot adapt and survive in the soil of Hong Kong because the temperature is too high, higher than the optimum temperature, 30 degrees Celsius. And for the bacterium B, they can adapt and survive in the soil of the Hong Kong because for the 32 degrees Celsius is much closer to the optimum temperature for the bacterium B to grow. So we need to apply the findings in Hong Kong habitat, especially with global warming. So that's our scaffolding. First of all, we need to think about for the bacterium A in Hong Kong. So the population size will be smaller. That's our prediction. So any effect on the plant X. So there will be a weaker inhibitory effect on the growth of the plant X. And for the bacterium B, there will be larger population of the bacterium B in Hong Kong soil. So there will be a stronger promoting effect on the growth of the plant X. In conclusion, we can see that weaker inhibitory effect on the growth of plant X, stronger promoting effect of the growth of the plant X, and then we combine it with our ultimate information. Plant X is more competitive than the native plant species in Hong Kong. And the last part, we can say that what is the whole picture to describe the possible impact of global warming on the native plant community. The result will be the native plant community decreases in size or diversity. So let's talk about the curriculum mapping. This question starts from the soil bacteria, and there are two concepts, habitat and the scientific investigation to be checked. For the ecosystem topic, soil bacteria, they are the biotic factor, and for the temperature, it is the abiotic factor in the habitat. And for the temperature, it will cause us the optimum temperature to affect the growth of the bacteria. And maybe next time it can ask you the temperature on the enzyme activity. And for the scientific investigation, this time it doesn't ask you about the calculation. Why did I tell you about the calculation? Because there are really some calculation questions in biology. Go through some common calculation question in biology curriculum. Osmosis, photosynthesis, respiration, something like this. So you can watch this video. Include every chapter, any calculation question. For the graph reading, no matter for the bar chart or the graph, so you need to be able to do the data analysis and the integration of the data. Especially for the graph reading, you need to be able to recognize the x-axis and the y-axis. And then we combine the concept of the habitat and the scientific investigation so we can study the ecological relationship. For example, we study the effect of the soil bacteria on the growth rate of the plant X. So it helps us to study the symbiosis relationship, mensalism, mutualism, or the parasitism. So that's the way for us to study biology. And after that, I would like to introduce these terms again. That's the niche. So it means the role of the organism they are playing in the particular habitat. If you would like to do some revision, so just watch the video again.